everybody, back after a week. Let's get everything up and going. Hello to everybody on Cloud Hub, everybody on Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, well, X, and all those that are watching this on replay. Let's see if we can get this up and going. There we go. And if you would please go ahead and share this with everyone. Let them know that we are on. And it seems like it's taking a little while for things to load up, as it always does. But anyway, I hope that you had a wonderful time off and were able to enjoy your weekend and your week. And if you celebrated Resurrection Sunday, I hope it was wonderful for you, despite what the White House was doing on that day. I hope your day was wonderful. All right, so let's see if we have everybody up and going now. Looks like that we do. All right, so we have a topic that we've kind of addressed before, but some things that maybe you haven't thought about and are really important to think about. So I wanted to bring you another discussion on that. Let's get started and then we'll come back and we'll talk about that a little bit more afterwards. But let me get this up and going. And here we go. Okay, today we're going to talk about stress. It's such an important topic. It's especially important in today's craziness that seems to be happening all around us and at ever increasing rate. Stress produces short-term and long-term effects that we need to pay attention to and often correct before we allow the stress to negatively impact our health. That being said, is all stress bad? Acute or short-term stress can have protective and beneficial effects. The National Library of Medicine has an article titled "The Short-Term Stress Response: Mother Nature's Mechanism for Enhancing Protection and Performance Under Conditions of Threat, Challenge, and Opportunity." Short-term stress has been defined as stress that lasts for a period of minutes to hours. The article concluded that short-term stress is one of nature's fundamental survival mechanisms that can be harnessed clinically to safely and effectively enhance immunoprotection and functionally to enhance mental and physical performance. On the other hand, they concluded that chronic stress has long been known to play a role in the etiology of numerous diseases and exacts a tremendous cost from society. Now, what is chronic stress? A simple definition of chronic stress is that it is chronic or long-term stress results when the biological stress response is activated for months to years. It can be due to one long-term stressor, like caring for someone who's chronically ill, or from numerous short-term stressors with insufficient time for a return to a resting state. Negative impact on the immune system is long-term stress suppresses or dysregulates innate and adaptive immune responses by altering the type 1, type 2 cytokine balance, inducing low-grade chronic inflammation and suppressing numbers, trafficking, and function of immunoprotective cells. So how can we cope with stress? Well, many of us already know that we can take breaks from watching on TV, perhaps reading or listening to news stories. And we've all know about those fake news stories and the ones that just seem never ending to always focus on the negative. Number two, you can take care of yourself, eat healthy, exercise, get plenty of sleep, and give yourself a break if you feel stressed out. Take care of your body and make time to unwind. I think if you have to make time to unwind, it shows you already that you are stressed out, because that should be something where you just naturally unwind, that you know that it's good for you, and you just kind of get in a habit of doing that on a daily basis rather than having to make time out of your busy schedule. There's always time to do things. It's how you prioritize, really. You can also talk to others. Connect with your community or faith-based organizations is another way. Avoid drugs and alcohol, and recognize when you need more help. And I would say sometimes that is talking to a counselor, a therapist, maybe just going and getting a gym membership, help in that way. Like, I just really need to work out. Just make sure that when you do that, and if it's a gym membership that you get, that you don't stress yourself out by saying, "Oh my gosh, I got to go. If I don't go, I'm wasting money." And you start getting anxiety built up, even about going and helping yourself in another way. Don't do that. Not worth it. You can always take a walk, do something, ride a bike, whatever you and your doctor decide is a good stress reliever and exercise that your body is capable of doing. Now, how do we help our bodies during times of stress? Let's take a look at the nutrients that may become depleted in our bodies when we are stressed. Things I think that we really don't think about. We think about all the other things and how we can help ourselves, the working out, the talking to people, the things that we just saw. But what about the nutrients inside of our bodies? Do we think about those and how we can help those that may become depleted because of our stress? Vitamin D. The primary source is the sun. Most foods are not a significant source of vitamin D. Vitamin D is a nutrient you need for good health. It helps your body absorb calcium, one of the main building blocks for strong bones. Together with calcium, vitamin D helps protect you from developing osteoporosis, a disease that thins and weakens the bones and makes them more likely to break. During periods of acute stress, vitamin D stores are used up. Additionally, most people, when extremely stressed out or ill, are not spending a lot of time outdoors, depleting vitamin D further. Vitamin D deficiency increases your risk of illness from viral infections. I've heard a lot of doctors talk lately about how it's important that you get at least 20 minutes a day outside in the sunlight. And if you wear glasses, they recommend that you take your glasses off. Not sure why exactly that is, but maybe for some people, like sunglasses would prevent the sun from coming onto your face. And you're not looking up at the sun, of course, but your eyes, I guess, need some of the sunlight. So, and it helps your body absorb and create vitamin D from the sun. So, I think that's something that's simple to do. Just sitting outside for 20 minutes a day, if you can, just sitting in the sun and soaking it in. I try to do that every day, a couple of times a day, because it feels healthy. And especially in California, we've had a lot of rain because of the cloud seeding, I'm sure that they do. And it's not a conspiracy theory. They admit that's what they do is cloud seeding, but it ends up we have, like, 3 or 4 days of rain sometimes, and you don't get to see the sun. So magnesium gets depleted. Magnesium is involved in over 300 chemical reactions in the body. One of these is helping increase your level of a neurotransmitter called GABA that plays a role in managing stress and anxiety. Magnesium deficiency has also been linked to depressed mood and increased stress. During periods of physical or mental strain, your body uses up magnesium to try to combat the negative emotions, depleting this important nutrient. I don't know about you, but I do take a magnesium supplement, and I don't know if it really is helping. I mean, I have no way of knowing if it reduces anxiety, but it doesn't feel like it's hurting anything, and probably is helping. Another is the B vitamins. Now, although the 8 B vitamins play a variety of roles in the body, they are essential to producing certain neurotransmitters that help with mood and stress management. They all are also required for a properly functioning nervous system. B vitamins are water soluble, which means your body doesn't store them. Therefore, once they are used up, you must replenish them with food or supplements. Another one is iron. Iron's primary role in the body is the red blood cells that help carry oxygen. A lack of iron causes fatigue, shortness of breath, and thinning hair. Excessive stress has been shown to deplete iron levels. Women, children, and vegetarians are particularly at risk for iron depletion caused by stress. Another vitamin we have to be concerned with is vitamin C. Vitamin C is an important antioxidant that helps mitigate the effects of free radical damage and oxidative stress. When cortisol, the stress hormone, is high, vitamin C is depleted. This puts you at a greater risk of illness and long term damage caused by oxidative stress. Who knew how important that vitamin C actually was? Now, also zinc. Zinc is an important mineral for immunity and mood. Low zinc levels have been linked to an increased risk of depression. Stress depletes zinc, increasing inflammation and risk of illness. Now, remember when we were encouraged by some doctors in 2020 to increase our zinc intake? Think they were trying to help our immune systems and knowing that there would be a depletion, if not by nothing else, the stress that we were under and being told, stand this far apart, do this, put this on your face, don't be around anybody else, things of that nature. And I don't recall the majority of doctors out there telling you to do anything like increase your zinc intake. It was come on in and roll up your sleeve. Now, other than taking supplements, are there some other things that I can do to restore my body's health? Some suggestions are on a daily basis, you should have leafy green vegetables high in iron and magnesium, whole grains high in magnesium and B vitamins, nuts that are high in magnesium and zinc, and citrus high in vitamin C needed to absorb iron. Also, dark chocolate, the 70% cocoa or more, is high in iron and magnesium. Now, you don't want to overdo it on the dark chocolate. You don't want to have a bag of chocolate a day, right? But occasionally, one or two of those a day wouldn't be bad for you, perhaps. Now, lean red meat, high in magnesium, B vitamins, iron, and zinc. And of course, daily, daily sunshine to get your natural way of getting your vitamin D. So, shall we start today focusing on how we view stress and how we can reduce long term stress for better health? Yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely. It's something that we really need to be cognizant of, as we started out saying, in the world that we live in and the craziness that we're going through, that seems to be getting worse and worse every day. We need to be very aware of what our bodies are doing, what our bodies need, and how we can help our bodies so that we can stay sort of in a balanced state rather than being out of balance. And when you are out of balance in one area, as we all know, it leads to being out of balance in another area, and it just sort of snowball effect, one on top of the other. So if you're having some issues in your health, maybe ask yourself, are any of the things that we talked about today valid for you? And if so, maybe you and your doctor should talk about looking at some things that can help you in reducing your stress and getting back to better health. I think that's something that we don't really think about a lot, and that is what stress does to our bodies and the fact that we are under a lot of stress. There's a lot of things going on these days with a lot of people. You're worried about finances, you're worried about what's going on in the world. You hear all the news about all the horrible things that are happening. You see things that you've never seen before. You're hearing things that you've never heard before. And I think all of that, we can look at, what type of exercises we can do and types of deep breathing that we can do to lower stress. But I think it's more important now than ever that we should really be aware of our stress levels and what we can do. And a lot of that means that we need to start eating well and getting back the vitamins that are being depleted in our body, the iron, the magnesium, the vitamins, vitamin C, D, B, things that we're not even aware of and don't even think about are being depleted and can lower our immune system. And again, when we lower our immune system, when that's out of balance, then we have something else that occurs. Maybe you get a respiratory virus, maybe you get some other type of virus or any other thing that you can think of, might happen to you because that you have lowered immunity. And you shouldn't worry about those things, but you should just do things that will help you on a daily basis become more aware of your body's health and what your body needs. And we've just gone over some of those things that you can do to help yourself physically, to help yourself in the way that you eat and in supplements that you take or choose not to take, whichever one you decide to do. But all of those things can help lower your stress, and in doing so can help improve your health. And again, as things become more stressful around the world and around our country, I think it's going to be important for us to be in the best health that we can. And one of the ways that we can do that is by making sure that we're not stressed out. That we might feel pretty good, and then all of a sudden we get sick, and we continue to get sick. Why are we getting sick? Well, maybe it's because you're more stressed out than you realize. Maybe you're not taking time for yourself to lower your stress, and maybe you're not eating well in order to make sure that your vitamins in your body are not being depleted, or you may want to take supplements so that you make sure that you have what your body needs in order to keep you in good health, even during those times when you are somewhat stressed out. And as we've talked about, as we looked at, acute stress isn't necessarily bad. It's something that doesn't last very long, though. And if you have a chronic stress where you're nervous all the time, where you're stressed out all the time, where you have a lot of anxiety all the time, and you're not doing anything about it to either lower or get rid of that stress, it turns into chronic stress. And that is not healthy for you. It continues to wear on your physical and also your mental health. So it's important to look at these things now before your body gets in that state where it's not too late, but where you've already gotten to the point where you're ill, or you have total anxiety, your blood pressure is raised, your pulse rate's raised, whatever the case may be for you. um, it's good to know about those things now and to take action now. Be proactive rather than reactive. And I hope you do share this with other people that are going through things that maybe don't want to talk about how stressed out they are, and maybe don't know what to do about their stress levels. And hopefully, this will help them in some way maintain a good, positive attitude with less stress in their lives and less illness and disease because they have managed the stress in their lives. So, I don't know if you have any questions, but that's really all I wanted to bring you today. I know that I've been seeing some things in the news that, I try to watch less news than I've done before, but there are things that are popping up that I know people have never seen before, have never been an issue for them before. And I know people are stressed out. So that's why I wanted to bring this to you today, so that if it's you that's stressed out, feeling a little overly stressed, or someone perhaps you can show this to them and they can benefit from them. Thank you, Sissy. Sissy said, thanks for the great advice. We can all use that advice. And one of the things, when I was preparing for this today and doing the research, it made me think about some of the things that I'm taking. Am I taking the right supplements? When they were talking about zinc so many years ago, and it's something that we needed along with quercetin, it didn't dawn on me then about the fact that your zinc in your body may be depleted because of the stress that your body was under from being mentally at least, told to do this, do that, step over here, put this on your face, roll up your sleeve, all those things that were going on that people were having to face for the first time. And a lot of fear can cause people to have a lot of anxiety, to experience a lot of anxiety and stress that can turn into a chronic illness, chronic stress. Because for 2 weeks to curb things, right, turned into a couple of years, and not really over now, right? I mean, every now and then it crumps up its head, and people are wondering what's going to happen. Again, lowering your stress level, not worrying about those things that you necessarily can't control, but looking and focusing on those things that you can control will help to continue to lower your stress level and keep you healthy, at least healthier, right? It certainly can't help when you lower your stress. It can make you a more productive, healthy individual, thinking clearly and taking care of yourself and your family. So, again, thank you so much for being here today. That's all I wanted to say. Again, I hope you had a wonderful week. I know we took the week off. We'll be back again next Tuesday. And again, I hope you do share this with those that you feel could benefit from it. Thanks again. God bless you. We'll see you again next.